Hello, I'm Missy Howard. I have a Class A license and I'm a long-haul truck driver. This is segment 3 of So You Want to Be a Trucker or Cargo Van Driver. I talked about in a previous video the importance of the DOT physical and getting prepared for that. And in the second segment I talked about that some more. Also I talked about getting the Class A or Class B permit, and I touched on the pre-trip. Okay, I'm going to go back to the permit. In segment 2, underneath the video, there are some links. One of them is the permit study guide. I created it. I used to be a teacher, and so I just kind of put those skills to work to create a permit study guide program. You can study for the permit step by step. It's very broken down. It covers a 2-week period, so if you study these sections every day for 14 days, you should be prepared. I highly recommend that you do not take the online tests, the practice tests over and over again and think that that's going to prepare you for the permit exam, because I'm here to tell you it will not. Feel free to use that permit study guide. It covers the Class A, but you could custom tailor it to your own needs. If you wanted to use it to study the Class B, you would just leave out combination vehicles, because Class B is a straight vehicle and is not a combination vehicle. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the pre-trip. You will have to do a pre-trip in the presence of a state examiner, before you can go on to the backing portion or the driving portion of the CDL exam. So the pre-trip is something that you memorize like a movie star would memorize a movie script, or like you would memorize multiplication tables. You will not need access to a truck in order to study for the pre-trip. I have put a couple of links to some pre-trip scripts. One of them is for the state of Tennessee. The other one is for the state of Missouri. I want you to look at both of those because they're both different, and the pre-trip is different in every state. But if you memorize at least the Tennessee pre-trip or even the Missouri pre-trip, it will better equip you when you do show up for trucking school or training to pass the pre-trip. And how you do this is you just go through the pre-trip script over and over and over again. Now, if you were going to prime, you would want to memorize the Missouri pre-trip, because prime is in Missouri. And if you were going to go to a school in Tennessee, of course, like Smoky Mountain Trucking Institute, you would want to memorize the Tennessee pre-trip. And you just read it over and over and over again. And then when you get to school, your instructor can show you all of these parts of the truck that you have been memorizing, and then you will know exactly what to say about each point of the truck. Now, a pre-trip basically is this. You're going to have to state it from memory. You won't be allowed any kind of significant guides while you're doing it. It lasts 30 minutes if you get the whole truck. It could last 10 to 15 minutes if you get just a section of the truck that you are going to have to talk about and show the CDL examiner that you have memorized. And you will practice this every day in training. At least once a day you will go through the pre-trip, and you can use the guide until you have committed it to memory. And